There was a time when I needed to speak to someone. I needed to gain some clarity, but I didn't know how and I didn't know who. I was going through something in my life, a very tough time, and I needed to know an answer. I needed Hashem to guide me. I needed Hashem to give me some clarity, something, give me some signs to take the next step, which is the next right step to take. And it turned out that there was a speaker giving a speech on Shabbat, and I was really not expecting to go because I didn't plan to go. I didn't know about it. So it was perfect. I said, okay, Hashem is giving me a sign. I listened to the speech, and it was such beautiful insights that the speaker shared. And I tried so much to apply it to what I'm going through, and I thought I did have some clarity. But I was still very emotionally broken. I was very emotionally confused. And I approached the speaker at the end of the lecture, and I said, I'm going through this and that. I really need some clarity. And the speaker gave me some insights and some thoughts, and I thought I had some clarity. I thought, I definitely became a little bit more calmer, and I left the lecture feeling a little bit more grounded. So I was in for a surprise, because a few days later, the speaker texts me and says, Leah, I feel very responsible to what you shared with me, and I really want to make time to meet with you this week. And we worked it out on what time to meet. But I remember feeling so good. I remember feeling that somebody made time for me, and she's a very busy person. This is not somebody who people don't know about. She's a very well-known person in the community, and she made time for me in her busy schedule, in her busy life, and I will forever be grateful to her. Here I'm expecting to go to her office, so I ask for her address, and she gives me her home address, and I felt even more privileged. And I said, wow, she's making time for me. She's not making me feel like a client. She's not making me feel like someone who needs therapy, which many people feel weird about and embarrassed, understandably. So I felt so incredibly good. I can't even describe this feeling, that just somebody was just making time for me. She could have not called me. She could have just thought that, I figured it out. But she made time for me, and it changed my life. And I gained a lot more clarity. And I remember most of our conversation was me talking and her listening. And yes, her insights was also very helpful, but she was just there for me with her warmth, with her smile. And we became good friends, thank God. And I hope our friendship can continue. I want to apply this to a Divrei Torah, which says the following: if there be among you a needy man, one of your brethren, within any of your gates, in your land which the Almighty, your God, gives you, you shall not harden your heart, nor shut your hand against your needy brother. End quote. This is in Devarim. Our sage, the Ibn Ezra, explains that you shall not harden your heart really pertains to you shall not refrain from speaking unkind words to his heart, to people. When a person is poor, here we are thinking all they need is money, and you're going to feel so big about people feel like they're doing the world when they even give $1 to this person. They don't even know who's asking them for money. But it's not enough to give money. You have to give emotional support. You have to give an emotional obligation to make this person feel encouraged, to make this person feel that you are compassionate towards them, that what you're doing is going to warm their heart. Already they feel embarrassed enough even asking for money. So our job is not just to give money if we have it, but our job is also to give emotional support. Rabbi David Feinstein, that's Rabbi Moshe Feinstein's eldest brother, eldest son, he said the following: My father never wasted a minute, but if a poor man or troubled person or even a nudnik took an hour to pour out his heart, my father could spare an hour. So, how many of us need emotional nurturing? That's most of us. And you don't have to search very far. It could be within the four walls of your home, people who you live with, people who are constantly there. And it's considered a big chesed, a big kindness that you're there for your family. Within the four walls of our home, of course, they come first. Some people say, I don't want to give money to other people who I don't know because I don't trust them. What if they spend it on drugs? Well, it's not our job to figure that out. What makes us any different than the person who's asking for the money? How did we become more privileged? How are we luckier? We're definitely luckier. We're not better. We're luckier. Hashem gave us a different mission. Some people are takers in this world, and some people are givers, and we both have that responsibility. But let's make the job of the taker a little bit more pleasant. It's already uncomfortable enough for them to be a taker. We borrow onions or we borrow milk from our neighbor. It makes us feel uncomfortable. But if our neighbor makes us feel like, no problem, I'll be there for you, it makes us feel so good. Ask me for anything you need. I'll try to be there for you. It makes us feel good. Of course, we're not going to ask them for everything, but it makes us feel good about asking them. So it's not our job to figure it out, what they're going to spend it on. We have to feel privileged and lucky to be helpful, because what made us different in the first place? Not to be in their shoes. Now, if you don't have tzedakah to give to a poor person, money, then wish them a blessed day. Apologize to them. I'm so sorry I don't have money. I'm so sorry I don't have change today. But I want to wish you a beautiful day. Have a blessed day. And give them a smile. A smile is tzedakah also. Let's not look down at them. There was someone I met this week, and they were going through therapy, and they were telling me how embarrassed they are. They're going through therapy. In the beginning, they were embarrassed. And I said to them, a therapist needs to go through therapy before they become a therapist, so that they don't involve their clients with their own problems. Everybody has problems. Nobody's exempt from them. So to make everybody feel comfortable and to make everybody feel that they are cared about, we have to give, if we can, financially and, of course, emotionally. Giving financially is only part of the job. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us a certain amount of money, then we should be privileged to give some of that money, what we don't need, the 10% of tzedakah, to other people, and make them feel good about the fact that you're giving it to them and not expecting anything back, obviously. As I said, we don't need to look far. We can give that emotional nurturing within the four walls of our home to our very difficult children, our very emotional children, to emotional family members, and of course, the financially needy. May we merit to give to others, both financially and emotionally, and feel lucky and privileged to do so. Leah Abramov, Being and Becoming.